Thank you. We're looking at Rblx here today. Probably shouldn't be too much of a surprise. If you're catching the live show, the last couple of sessions, we're talking about Rblx at 53, some bounces off that price here. We even had our good friend from Trade Ideas, Michael Noss, talking about the 53 level with a bit of a different take on it. But look, the significance is pretty clear. I'm actually putting up a daily chart. I could have shown you something a little bit tighter, but I wanted the perspective of what has happened to Rblx, right? Being cut down from 140. We just recently had an earnings disappointment. This is a 53 and change wick bottom that got put in just late in January, and our bounce was to 75, which is going to come into play a little bit later in a weird way. And then we were in a couple of days just retesting that 53. So essentially, you've got a major multi-day support level when the market is under pressure. You've got the third Friday options expiration. You've got overnight headline risk across these markets, and everything converging on this 53 level. Now, obviously, when we go in and look at what was happening in the pre-market, you had this consolidation. If you were just thinking short on this name or on the market in general, okay, maybe you could have had this level, but that's not the play. I only wanted it through 53. That is the major level on the daily. Fresh lows, there is no visible support under that price, so I'm looking for the floodgates to open up. Now, with every single breakdown trade, whether it's a breakout or it's a breakdown, there's always going to be a scalping aspect of it, and that's why as we got from 53 down to 52, it takes some out in that half range, and then some out once we're $1 in the money. At that point, I'm locking in on $50. So when it comes down to 51, the first test, okay, I'm going to take some more shares out there, anticipating we get a bounce. Why 50? It's a nice round number. You watch the show long enough, you probably know that I love symmetry. When we bounced off 53 here, where's our top? Top at 75. Okay, 75, retracement, back to $50. Maybe it was a little bit too obvious, and maybe I should not have been anchored to that price. But either way, when we made the bounce, I was able to get back in at 53. Now at this point, I did take some shares off in front of VWAP. My anticipation is here. I want to make sure that I hold on to this all the way to 50 once I've made the scalp trade. However, we were putting in a bit of a flag, and I thought, if this breaks back out, I'm going to be kicking myself if I don't take something off here, if we consolidate in that price range and then break higher. So because I was fearful of that trade, you trade counter trend enough times, you kind of get fearful of that moment. I end up taking some off shallow, but then I am holding. Once we go down to the 50 level, it touches off 51. So I said in the live show, I'm putting in a trailing stop. We hit that 50 and bounce back and fail to go through. I'm going to put a 50-50 trail just to make sure it doesn't shoot back up on me. The second that trails me out, I guess other people were thinking the same thing, maybe with some longs too. That's when it absolutely flushed all the way down to 48 or 48 and a half. Shout out to whoever it was in our chat that was calling out 48 randomly as a level they thought Rblx would get to. Congratulations to you there. I got trailed out of it. Still something I'm looking to do better with, how to use trailing stops, or maybe when not to use them at all, Neil. But I'm actually currently looking at this in back-ended position as this is going back towards the 50 level. And that's the thing, you have to hone in on those key levels. Obviously, there was a lot of sell action that came when it tried to take 50 before, so not a bad re-entry point. But the key thing here is multi-day break. Flush below because you had no support in the daily. It's like that gap fill from Lucid a few weeks ago. When you see something like that, you've just got to play off that level. It's the same thing with a breakout. But we're in a bear market, so you got to play these to the short side when they're there.